Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Vivek Bharata. In the previous video, we covered how exactly KRaft works and how it can replace Zookeeper and all that stuff, and we'll be basically continuing from that specific video. If you are the first time viewer directly jumped onto this specific video, I would highly recommend to start from the very first video in the series, which will basically give you a proper context and all. So this specific video will purely focus on the CLI commands. Kafka CLI out of the box has so many commands where you can basically operate, manage whole Kafka. Let's get started. We'll begin with setting up this specific Docker Compose split mode, as in we'll have one controller. For the simplicity, that would be one controller will act as a KRaft controller, and the next three are three Kafka brokers. That's it. Okay, the image would be same. For more understanding, you can go and watch the previous video, that is Kafka KRaft. Alright, so let's start with this one. As you can see in the Docker, also there's nothing there, so we'll just start with the up command, which will basically start all the services as per this specific Docker Compose file. Let's look at the Docker over here. All looks good and it's started. Okay, now the fun part begins by first we'll just directly connect to one of the Kafka instance. We'll start with Kafka 1. Okay, I already have this wave terminal set up in place, so let's connect to Kafka 1 instance. Docker exec-it kafka 1 bash. That's it. Okay, this Kafka 1 is basically the container name over here. Okay, now we are inside the Kafka 1 container. So the very first command what we will go through is, I do have the proper setup over here, so CLI commands. Let me just minify, and I hope this font size is better. Let me know in the comments. If the size is 3, usually I do follow the same for the videos, but let me know if this is a bit small for the mobile viewers as well. Okay, before jumping on to each and individual command, I'll just give a very high level walkthrough what we'll be covering. The first one is topic management, self-explanatory. And if you see the pattern over here, kafka-topics.sh. Basically, Kafka CLI, almost all the shell scripts will start with a self-explanatory. So anything to do with the Kafka topics, we just need to start with kafka-topics.sh. Okay, configuration and all, it's slightly different, but for now, for the management purpose, you can see that kafka-topics.sh. Okay, now later if you see for producing and consuming messages, we have Kafka console producer. I will show you in Kafka UI as well, the producer and also consumer naming and all. But if you see here, Kafka console-producer.sh, and for the consumer, Kafka console consumer. And if you want to add this into the group, we have this consumer group syntax as well. And moving on, if you see, if you want to manage or view kafka-consumer-groups.sh. Okay, and then if you need to change anything on the config for a topic and all, we can have kafka-config.sh. Okay, and if you want to change partitions and all, we have this again, kafka-topics.sh. All right, so we'll start with a very basic, like creating a topic. Before even creating, we'll just try to list what are all the current topics we have. Okay, let's expand this one for now, kafka-topics.sh, and simply the main command would be list. And if you just hit enter, you will get an error stating that bootstrap server. This is basically the entry point for the Kafka cluster. So we can give any of the Kafka broker, as it's where we already connected to the Kafka one, we can access with localhost itself. So bootstrap server equals to localhost 1992. The reason we need to give 1992 is, if you look at the Docker Compose file for the Kafka one, the port 1992 is like the actual listener inside. Okay, and also for the external it is 9094. You can get more understanding if you watch the previous videos, but for now you can access that with Kafka 1 1992 or localhost 1992. Okay, so for now we'll just use localhost 1992, because most of the commands, if you see, you'll basically log into that specific Kafka broker server and use it, and more or less it will be localhost domain, but it's again based on security and all. You can change it to the actual other domains as well. Okay, so if you see here, we got an empty list over here. I can just hit command again. Yeah, I can also show you maybe with Kafka 1 as well, right? Kafka 1. Okay, this Kafka 1 is again the same thingy inside this one. We can actually connect to the Kafka 2 instance also, like the second broker. We get it, MTR. Okay, so let me clear this out. We'll first create the topic. Okay, for the command, if you see here, same Kafka topics, instead of list we'll be passing create and the topic name orders. Okay, and bootstrap server will be same partitions, number of partitions that we need to create for this specific topic orders, and replication factor. So let me just copy this as is to save some time and paste it, enter. Okay, so if you see created topic orders, this one. Okay, now let's just go back to the previous command and let's use Kafka 2 itself. There you go, we see orders. Okay, for better explanation let's stick to localhost itself. So orders, clear. Now we can also do, instead of listing, this just gives you the normal list of topics, right? We can also do describe. And for describe again, as you can see, you need to know for which specific topic you need to pass, right? So we can just give topic order. That's it. Orders, I think, yeah, we don't have the order. So if you see, we got an error also, optional order does not exist as expected. So now if you see, I think it's kind of a clutter. So let me just clear it out and hit enter again. Over here, if you see Kafka topics, describe is the main command, topic, which topic we need to get the more comprehensive details, right? Orders and bootstrap server. Okay, if you see here, we have 3 partitions, if you can remember in the previous command. So partition count 3, replication factor we given it as 1. And over here, if you see, for partition 0, leader is broker 2, for partition 1, leader is broker 3. If you can remember from the previous videos, we use Kafka UI extensively. So let me just refresh and we can verify that as well quickly. So over the here topics, it got reflected over here on the Kafka UI side as well. 3 partitions. If you see, partition 0 is broker is 2, like the leader is 2, sorry. For partition 1, leader is broker 3. If you compare that, 0 to 1 3 2 4, 0 to 1 3 2 4, that's it. Okay, this is basically to describe. Now let's look at the next command. What we have a delete topic also, where same, the main primary command would be changing, that is instead of describe or list or create even, we just need to pass delete, that's it. And which topic we need to delete, and bootstrap server, that's it. Okay, for the sake of the following set of commands, we'll create another topic and we'll delete that instead of the orders thing. Okay, paste, and instead of orders, let's say notifications. Yeah, that's it. If you do describe, maybe list, now you can see 2. Okay, now simple, instead of, let's use describe, instead of this describe command, instead of describe we'll just pass delete, that's it. With this, it will basically delete the topic, and that would be notifications. Clear. Now let's list again. We should see only one topic, that is orders, that's it. Okay, most of the commands, it kind of stores as a muscle memory quickly, because mostly is like the commands and the options what we pass are self-explanatory. Okay, now let's go back to the list of commands. Now we covered creating a topic, listing topic, describing, and also deleting a topic. Now let's look at the producing. So now we already have the topic orders, right? For starting a producer, the main executable file is kafka-console-producer.sh. Topics, for which topic we need to push the messages, and bootstrap thingy, that's it. So let me just copy this one and paste it over here. Okay, looks like K got cut off. Okay, now if you see, it started as a stream, right? So we can just send messages multiple with a separator as enter. So this is a new message. Now this is 2,000, 10,000. Okay, now if you see, this producer is still connected to the Kafka, and also the topic it is pushing to messages orders topic. Okay, now let me minimize this one. I hope this is clear right till here. So now let's go back to the consumer. Okay, we'll just start consuming the same messages from the same topic orders. Okay, so I'll just use this specific shell over here, and we need to connect to the Kafka one. Okay, now we are inside. Now let's just paste. It will take a while, but it will flush all the messages from this topic. If you see the same order, now we can say, let's say Kafka test message. We get it over here. That's it. Total how many messages we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total. Now we can compare this from the Kafka UI also, just as a verification. Yeah. Over here, if you see topics, orders, number of messages count is 5. Next offset is also 5. Now let's look at the consumers. We have one consumer. Okay, the consumer group also automatically created, and inside if you see we have only one active consumer, and if you just open, assigned partitions are 3. Yeah, that's it. Okay, now let's jump back to the CLI and commands. If you see here, this specific consumer added into the new dynamic consumer group which created automatically. Also, we can pass specific consumer group. Okay, now we'll just use this one. We'll start a new consumer, and this consumer will be part of the new group, orders consumer group. Okay, let's go back to the terminal. Over here, let's exit the consumer over here, and let's just paste this command. Okay, now let's look at the Kafka UI quickly. We can also look at the CLI, but just as a double verification. All right, now let's push some more messages, maybe 4, 3. Okay, so if you can see, we got 2 messages from this specific consumer and part of this specific orders consumer group also. Now let's stop this one and let's head back to the different consumers. Now moving on to the consumer group, we have one command, kafka-consumer-groups.sh. Just simply list. Okay, let's see what does this show. Okay, if you see here, console group 23825, which is the one which created automatically when we given without any group option, and the other one orders consumer group. Okay, we can verify that from the Kafka UI as well. Consumers 23825 orders consumer group. That's it. Okay. Now moving on to the next command, we have describe, which will give you a more verbose details, but let me just use this one and I'll just quickly show you this one as well. Paste. Okay, if I can expand this one. Okay, somehow this is not working. Let me see. Okay, if you see here, group, topic, partition, current offset, log and offset, and all that stuff. Okay, that's pretty much it. So it will give you a better clear picture of it. That's it. Self-explanatory. Again, it's a describe command. All right, now let's say if you want to reset and start from the very beginning, so we can call this specific function. We can execute this specific command, where if you see group also till here, it's all self-explanatory. The next is reset offsets to earliest. That's it. Okay, so let's run this command and see, once we have this thing in place, it should basically consume all the messages again, right? So let's see that one. Over here, let's clear this out and then paste. Okay, let's see. Okay, we got this error, something off over here. If you look at here, one of the reset scopes should be defined alt. Okay, I think the command don't have any topic name. Oh yeah, that's my bad. Let me just see if I can add it quickly and update right away. Over here, reset offsets, topic orders. It's a mistake, guys. Let's see if this works. Okay, over here, clear this out and paste, enter. Okay, looks like it got reset. Consumer groups, just run it again. I'm not sure why this is causing a bit issue. If I just decrease a bit, it would be better, but alright, it got reset. So that's the idea what I just want to convey. So now let's start the consumer again with the consumer group of this one. Okay, kafka-console-consumer.sh, topics is orders, bootstrap server, group is orders consumer group. Let's hit enter and see. Okay, if you see, it just received all the messages. till here. Okay, now we can just say maybe 6. We'll get that 6 right away. Okay, clear? These are all the very basic commands. Most of the times we use it, and again mostly we'll be having some Kafka US and all, but it's good thing to always have the CLI commands as a hands-on experience. Okay, and for the beginners I would highly recommend to use CLI tool rather than the Kafka or any other dashboards. Okay, now we have two other commands. One is changing the retention period, like how long the message should stay in a topic. So let's set this value, which is like 7 days. So let's just run this command over here and hit enter. Let's expand this one. Looks like it's all set. Now if you look at the describe over here, you can see the retention time. Okay, now we can change this again. So we can change this to something else. Maybe let's say 1048 and hit enter. Completed updating config for topic orders. That's it. If you look at the describe again, the value reflects. That's it. Okay, now let's look at the final command. If you see, we have these partitions. Again, this is not really recommended. Always best practice to think out for a long-term scalability factor and define the partitions. But again, increasing partitions also to some extent is better. Decreasing, it's kind of a possible, but it's kind of a overhead on Kafka also if you're dealing with millions and billions of messages. Okay, currently if you look at the describe of these topics, we have only 3 partitions, right? That's how we created the partition in the beginning. Now let's change this to 6 partitions, and this is the command Kafka topics alter topic name and the number of partitions. You can pass other options as well. I'll just give you all the brief, or we can just go through all the different options and all, but let's execute this one first. Paste, enter. Okay, looks like it's done. Now if you look at the describe, you will see all the partitions, and also the leaders are also being spread across different partitions. Now if you think that, okay, how can we remember all these things? Not really required, because our help, this Kafka CLI help tool is really good. You can just simply type kafka-topics.sh and hit enter. It will give you all the possible options, and also if you see, create, delete, describe, or change a topic, alter if you want to change anything, the replicas, and all that stuff. And there are so many things over here. Okay, and even with this also we can change the retention time. Yeah, looks like instead of Kafka config, but yeah, that's how you can basically go through all these things and accordingly use these values and set it out. If you look at the here partitions, the number of partitions for the topic being created or altered, right? This is the one what we used. That's it. So that's how for anything you can just use that and hit enter. Let's see for Kafka console-producer.sh, enter. If you see, there's so many options how you can pass and what is the batch size and all that stuff. So you can go through these and learn more and improve the overall hands-on experience with Kafka CLI commands. There are some more commands which will be part of the ACL security part, and also performance load testing and all that will keep it up at the advanced concepts. But I hope till this part it's a bit clear and to get started and understand how the basic commands work. Again, just to emphasize, if you are the first time user watching directly this specific video, I would highly recommend to watch all the videos in this series. I will attach that in the description and also as a comment. I also created the new Discord server for our community. Feel free to join, where I would be sharing any code snippets or any documentation. It's basically a mini community where we can learn and grow together. I'll attach the Discord server link also as part of the comment. And if you stick to this end of this video, I hope you love this content. If so, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.